Hi everyone! So today I thought since we did notation of squares the other day, I definitely have some of you who were ready for notation of cubes. And I know many of you who got that lesson probably still need to practice it. So I thought I would show it here and then offer you some ideas for follow-up work that you can do at home. So here I have the long 4 chain. And I'm going to take this long 4 chain and I'm going to again do something you're probably pretty familiar with from primary. I'm going to fold it, but I'm only going to fold it in groups of 4. So there's one group of 4. Here's 2 groups of 4. Scoot this over some. 3 groups of 4. How many groups of 4 do you think we're going to have? Oh, sorry, Emily's here again today with me, and she's having trouble with the box. So there's my groups of 4, albeit a little bit messy. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we remembered that 4 fours is going to give us the square of 4. So here's 4 squares. Like that. And we can go ahead and replace our large chain just with these squares, like that. Now I want you to watch carefully for the next thing. 1 square 4, 2 squares of 4, 3 squares of 4, and 4 squares of 4. We have made what's called a cube. I'm going to hold that up so you can see. See that? Now we have something else in the classroom that looks just like this, don't we? A cube of 4. Yeah, we have our wired cube of 4. Right here. So there are actually all of these layers of beads. It is actually 4 squares, 4 squares put together. So there are this many beads in this little cube. It just sits a little bit nicely, sits a little bit nicer, doesn't it? Yeah. So this is our cube of 4. So here we have the cube of 4. And we made this cube of 4 using 4 squares. So we essentially took 4 squared times 4. 4 squared 1 time, 4 squared 2 times, 4 squared 3 times, 4 squared 4 times. So 4 times 4 squared is one way to write this down. Those are beautiful cards, Emily. Thank you. We stacked them to make our cube right here. Right? We can also look at this cube of 4 another way. So with a cube of 4, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. These flat parts of a 3D object are called faces. Now the faces can show us a very interesting thing. So I'm going to hold it like this. It's kind of like here's the corner. It's like sitting kind of like this right now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 up here. So we can see 1 square of 4. But then when we look at the top, we have another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a 4 here along our base. We have a 4 going up. And then we have a 4 going back. So we have 3 4s. We have 4 times 4 times 4, like that. Or we can see 4 times 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4. Having 4, so you can see it, going up. So 4 times 4 times 4. Now do you remember the other day when we were working on squaring 4, or the square of 4, we had just this, right? 4 times 4 for a square. And there was 2 4s in our number sentence, so we put a baby 2. And that's how we notated 4 square. Now, here for our cube, let's look at our 4s in our number sentence. How many are there? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 4s. So to notate this, we need a 4 and a baby 3. When you see this, this means a cube. It's a number multiplying itself by itself 3 times. 4 times 4 times 4. So we'd have to do 4 times 4, which we know is the square of 4, which is 16. And then we have to take 16 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's a pretty big problem, isn't it? So what I'm going to do for this one, and I'm not going to do this with all of them because we'd be here for a very long time, I'm going to count these for you, okay? So we know that this one is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. So the cube of 4 equals 64. And there are actually 64 beads in this cube. So that is how we can notate the square of cubes. Okay, so here I have our 4 cubes set up. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our 3 cube. So here we have our 3 squares multiplied 3 times, and when we stack them, we get the cube of 3, which you can see right here is nice and wired together. So we have 3 times 3 squared, okay, right here. And then we have our 3 times 3 times 3. There are 3 3s in our number sentence, so the way we notate this using numbers in math is 3 and a baby 3. Now, we're going to figure out what this equals. So this is the square of 3, 3 times. What is the square of 3? That's 9. 9 times 3. I think that one is much smaller than the first one, right? 9 times 3 is 27. Okay, so I'm going to set our tickets up here like this. And we're going to go on to do the baby cube of 2. Here are our teeny tiny squares of 2. We have 2 times 2 squared. When we stack these little cuties, these ones are hard to stay stacked without holding them. And you, of course, can't see because my hand's blocking it. We have the cube of 2. Look at this little teeny tiny. It is tiny, isn't it? So here we have 2 times 2 times 2. And we have how many 2's in our number sentence? That's right, 3. So we notate it with a 2 and a baby 3. Now let's see. The square of 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 times 2 is, 8. There we go. So I'm going to move our little pieces up here. Guess which one we're going to do now? We're going to do the teeny tiniest little baby. Teeny tiniest little baby of them all is our 1. Let me, oh dear, where's my other one? They're so little. I often misplace them. Here it is. Okay, so here's the square of 1. 1 times 1. We have the square of 1 one time. Here's our cube. It's 1 times 1 times 1. Oh, guys, this is a big one. I'm joking. very obviously. And then we notate that by a 1 and a baby 3, because there are 3 ones in our number sentence, and 1 times 1 times 1 equals, you guessed it, 1. I'm going to move these things right up here. Voila. You can see those tickets okay. I can include some still shots of what this looks like too. I'd be able to do that for you guys if you would like. So there's our little tiny cubes. I'm going to go ahead and reset. Okay, guys. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. We're going to do the square of 5. So here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 squares of 5. 5 times the square of 5. And we know that if we stack them, we get a cube of 5, which we see right here. Put these back out. See if we can fit all this in our little frame here. So we can see that we have 5 times 5 times 5 right here. Now, how many 5s do you see in this number sentence? Yeah, so we notate it with a 5 and a baby 3. Now, the cube of 5. That's a pretty big number, isn't it? We can think of these like quarters. How many cents are in a quarter? 25. How many quarters are in a dollar? 1, 2, 3, 4. That equals 100 cents, right? So this is 25, 50, 75, 100. And 100 plus 25 is, you're not going to be able to see it, 125. Let me scoot this. 125. So I'm going to scoot this back as far as I can. And again, I'm going to show you a close-up picture of these tickets, okay? Let's move on to the squares of 6. We're going to start to run out of room here. So here we have 6 squared 6 times. Then we have the cube of 6, because we know when we stack these, it's going to give us the cube of 6. I'm going to do this for space sake. So we have, again, 6 times 6 times 6. We have 3 6s, so we're going to notate it with a 6 and a baby 3. Now, we have to multiply the square of 6, which is 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. We have 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36. Now, when you're practicing this at home, you can count your squares until you have your cube memorized, and that is 216. There are 216 beads right here. Pretty cool, huh? So I'm going to go ahead here. We're going to move on to our 7. Okay, we have the square of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. 7 times the square of 7. We know when we stack them, we get the cube. Let's put it, this way, sorry. So we have 7, 7, 7. So 7 times 7 times 7. And to notate that, we have 3 7s in our number sentence, so we're going to do 7 and a baby 3. 7 squared. Now, we're getting even bigger here, aren't we, guys? So we've done the cube of 5 and 6, and now we're going to look at the cube of 7. We have the square of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Move this. Nope, right there so we can see it. So this is the square of 7. Let's put it there. 7 times. All right. And we know when we stack those, we get the cube of 7. And we can see 7. 1, 2, 3 times. 7 times 7 times 7. And we know that to notate that, we have to look at how many 7s are in a number sentence. There's 3. Where can I put this where you'll be able to see it? There's 3. So we have 7 and a baby 3. Now, to find out how much this is, we have to take the square of 7, which is 49, 7 times. So that's 49, 49, 49, 49, 49, 49, 49, like that. So the way that I come up with it really quickly is 49 is really close to 50, and I can skip count by 50 pretty well. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. But we didn't do 50 times 7, we need to do 49. So we were one too many here, 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 and here. This is 49, not 50, so that's 1 extra, 2 extra, 3 extra, 4 extra, 5 extra, 6 extra, 7 extra. So 350 minus 7 is 343. Now, everybody thinks about math in a very different way, so if that didn't quite make sense to you, that's okay. That's something that I really want to work on, is estimating with numbers in that way, using rounding. And we're going to work more on that. So if that doesn't quite make sense to you, that's perfectly fine. I thought I would try to say it out loud once, see how it took. But I'm going to move these here. So we can move on to the cube of 8. So here we have 8 squares of 8. And we know when we stack them all, we get the cube of 8. All right? I'm going to move these over a little so that you can see. There. So for our tickets, we have 8 squared, 8 times, am I getting weird reflection? 8 squared, 8 times. We have 8 here, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. So we have 8 times 8 times 8. 8 times 8 times 8. We know we have 3 8s in our number sentence. So to notate that, we do 8 and a baby 3. And here's another big one, huh? These cubes are getting bigger and bigger. We have the square of 8, which is 64, 8 times. So 64, 64, 64, 64, 64, 64, 64, 64. Whew, that's a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the cube. Okay, the cube equals 512. Now we're going to do the cube of 9. So we have 1 9 squared, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, we have the square of 9, 9 times. And we know when we stack them, we get the cube of 9. And we can see 9, 1 here, 9, 2, 9, 3. We can see 3 9s. 9 times 9 times 9. The way we notate that, since there's 3 9s in our number sentence, is 9 and a baby 3. And now we have an even bigger math problem here to do, don't we? We have the square of 9, which is 81. 81. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 81, 81, 81, 81, 81, 81, 81, 81, 81. So for this one, we could just think, well, 80. We have 80 9 times, because 80 is very close to 81, isn't it? So we can do 80 times 9. And I'm going to write that on my piece of paper right here. I'm going to put my paper here real quick. So we'd have 80 times 9, okay? Now, we're going to ignore the 0 for now. 8 times 9 is 72. And then we're going to take the 0. How many zeros do we have in our number sentence? 1. And we're going to add it there. We didn't just need 80 times 9. We needed 81 times 9. So we had one less. We have 1 extra here, 1 extra, 2 extra, 3 extra, 4 extra, 5 extra, 6 extra, 7 extra, 8 extra, 9 extra. So we would need to add 9 to this, which equals 729. And that is the cube of 9. 729. All right. Okay, and we are on to our last cube. So I have square 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oof, we're really running out of room. 8, 9, 10. When we stack them, we're going to get the cube. So we have, I'm just going to kind of do that real quick. 10 squared, 10 times, which makes our cube, and we can see 10 one time, 2 times, 3 times. So to notate it, in this one we can actually find the answer. Even though it's the biggest one, we can find the answer pretty easily because we can skip count by 100, right? So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. And there we go. Okay, so here's the proper layout when we don't have to film. This is how we lay everything out. Is that pretty, Emily? Get a little bit closer here without glare so you can see all the tickets. Okay, everybody, so let's talk about follow-up work for this lesson. You can absolutely make your own tickets, things like that, similar to what you did for possible follow-up work for notation of squares, or what I've been working on, which has been lots of fun, is I have made little cubes out of paper. So I have my 3 cube made, my 2 cube made, and my 1 cube made. Let me see that. So I'm going to show you, 1 cube down, how I did that. So I'm going to start right here, okay? And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 1 square. Square 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to write those numbers. I'm just doing that to make sure that you guys can see that I counted 5. It's also where I recommend, if you have a ruler, use it, because you want your cuts and your lines to be right on the line of the graph paper. Otherwise, you're going to get kind of wonky cubes, okay? So I'm going to count another square 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to count another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, we're going to make 4 squares of 5 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to come back up here to the second square. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares of 5s. I'm going to come up to number 2. And from this corner, I'm going to count out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. Then I'm going to come over here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to label these boxes 5 and 6. Then what I would do is I would color them. Okay, now that it's colored, I am going to go ahead and cut it out. So now that everything is colored, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to fold it. So I am going to fold along this line right here between my 1 and 2, and I'm going to try to fold right on the line of the graph paper. All right, that's really important. Just like it was important for you to draw and cut on those lines, it's really important for you to try to fold on them. Then I'm going to do the line between 2 and 5. That. Then between 6 and 2. Then between 2 and 3. And then between 3 and 4. All right, now we have to put the cube together. So we have it kind of folded like this. I'm going to start by taping these two edges together. The way I do that is I grab a piece of tape, put it on 5, and then I'm going to carefully push it down onto the face of 3. Okay? I'm going to put tape on 3. And I'm very carefully going to push it down on the face of 6. See what I have so far? Yeah. Then we're going to come here. Put it on 5. Carefully hold down 4. So I kind of hold it like this. Little pincher grasp. Kind of like the way you hold your pencil. And I lightly put it on the 4. So I'm going to pincher grasp 6 and 4, put tape on 4, and I'm going to lightly push it down onto 6. So now I have a box with a little lid. So I just have to put tape, and the lid's actually piece number 1. And put it on 1, do my best to line it up, and I'm going to push the tape down on 4. And then I'm going to tape these to these sides as well. Oh, that didn't work out super great, but that's okay. All right, and there we have a cube of 5. So I'm going to stack them like this, and then I'll take a little picture of them too. Look at that. You have your cubes. Ooh, and even the 5 is facing. And if you want to, you can write the total of each cube on there. So this is 1, 8, 27. Remember what this one was? 64. 125. Look at that, I used the 5. So this is one choice you have. I recommend practicing making the cubes first. And one other recommendation, as you get to the bigger cubes, you might have to tape some graph paper together to make it long enough. Just make sure you line up your graph lines, okay? All right. Let me know if you need anything. Have a great day. I miss you. Bye.